Starting lesson number 8. Sefer Fastom and Sefer Shemoy Chofetz Chaim, lesson in truth, daily studies, and honesty, and fundamentals of Jewish faith. Let's go to Chaf Daled Elul. That's Elul. Last lesson. Daled Elul. Time of drought. Chafetz Chaim's nephew, Leib Levowitz, once bemoaned the fact that the difficulties of earning a living often disturbed his concentration during tefillah. Chafetz Chaim consoled him by way of a good parable. Have you ever seen the wholesale grain merchants as they purchase the grain from the farmers? They test the sampling of the grain to determine the sand contents mixed into the grain. This is reduced in price. However, this is so only when there is an abundance of grain. Prices are low. However, there is a drought and grain source. Merchants will accept the grain as it is and will pay the full price regardless of the sand content. So it is my dear nephew regarding our spiritual efforts in previous generations, when the vast majority of Jews were faithful to Hashem and observed His mitzvahs, and Jews' good deeds were scrutinized carefully in heaven before they gained acceptance. Today, when unfortunately the generation's spiritual level has fairly drastically due to the difficulties of life and the influence this paragraph. And so it is my dear nephew regarding spiritual efforts in previous generations. And the vast majority of Jews were faithful to Hashem and observed His mitzvahs. A Jew's good deeds were scrutinized carefully in heaven before they gained acceptance. Today, when unfortunately the generation's spiritual level has fallen very drastically due to the difficulties of life and the influence of heretics, is a time of spiritual drought. Heaven is not so exacting in judging our deeds, and they are readily accepted as long as we act for the sake of Hashem. So in other words, a person doesn't daven a full shachris. That was par shachris. It says it's par semana tilum in front of it. But Hashem is accepting it. Everything we do is a tikkun. We don't have to be judging the next person if he was Chaim every mitzvah kitzur Shulchan Aruch, or Shulchan Aruch, this Shulchan Aruch, Yena Shulchan Aruch. Chafetz Chaim says when there's times of droughts and people have to do what they have to do, they have to be Oisem Sachat Tzibur, or help a child, or do a refuah, or whatever it is, or a doctor that can't daven or can't learn, he has to be Oisek in everything that he's doing. He's patur in mitzvahs. Whatever he does is l'shem shemayim. Whatever he is Shem Shemayim the right way. He thinks it's l'shem shemayim, but by saying lashon hara, chas v'shalom. Whatever he's doing, he's helping a child get his school needs. A Yosem child get his school needs. Helping who knows what he's doing? Again, above day 111, the Chafetz Chaim stated that in our days, when the majority of Jews are devoid of any faith in Hashem and His Torah, and a small minority remain to shield the generations, it is crucial that our Torah and mitzvahs be wholesome, and that our deeds bring about this Shem Shemayim. Here, however, he states that if this time of spiritual drought, heaven is not so exacting in judging our deeds. To resolve this apparent contradiction, we suggest that to serve as we as a shield for the generations. One services of Hashem must be superior quality. On an individual level, however, a person's good deeds are more readily acceptable in heaven during a time of spiritual drought, comparatively few hearkening to the words of Hashem. When Shalom, schus my learning the Chafetz Chaims. I'm learning till 5 in the morning. El Nishmas the Chafetz Chaim. For some reason I was learning till 5 in the morning, davening and everything, doing all the limud of the Baruch Shem. El Nishmas the Heilige Chafetz Chaim. Schus my learning. I should be zeicha. We should all be zeicha to be in Eretz Yisrael this year already, and all be a shir and gevir and pandas berevach. We shall have shalom between each other. We shouldn't have any sinus whatsoever between each other. I should have some more koyach to stay awake. And in this heat, I'm learning the Chafetz Chaim. In this heat of the sukkah, now I don't have any air conditioning whatsoever. I have 2 fans running here. At night it gets a little chilly sometimes. I have to turn on the heater. I should have a heater for the winter. But think of my situation, my pickle. Yet a pickle, yet a peckle. I don't know how we're going to make it out, but schus, this should be a schus. Early before few hearkening to the words of Hashem. If the Chafetz Chaim considered that this time one of spiritual drought, how much more so is this true in our times when the world is steeped in materialism and self-gratification. Every mitzvah, word of Torah and tefillah or act of kindness that we accomplish is exceedingly precious to Hashem and has enormous impact in the upper worlds. As the Chafetz Chaim noted above, Day 88, with each succeeding generation, the collective merit of the Jewish people increases, and it becomes easier to hasten Mashiach's arrival. We have already every reason to be hopeful in our generation, whose spiritual efforts bring such pleasure to Hashem, will be the one that will merit the great Mashiach. Every mitzvah that we accomplish is exceedingly precious to Hashem. So no matter if it's tefillah, or chesed, or smiling to a child, smiling to a person, greeting a person with a smile, helping the lady that has something falling from her carriage, in the grocery, picking something up for a lady that dropped on the ground. Even that's a big mitzvah. Showing the chesed, showing the Havas Yisrael, showing the uniqueness of humanity, and the stability of a righteous person. End of lesson 8. Next video from lesson number 9.